501.
So Saoirse, so very few films sort of deal with such a complex issue as with just a teen cast. Were you impressed and pleased with the maturity of the script when you got it, and it didn't sort of infantilize it?
I was. I think a lot of people have kind of put it into the category of young adult, which technically it is because there's young adults in it, but it is very mature. I think it's very sophisticated the way it was made, and what was portrayed in the film as well. I think it's quite realistic, considering the subject matter, and very raw. And I think really that's down to the writers, and it's also down to Kevin and the type of brilliant filmmaking that he does. And Film 4, and everyone that was involved, I think, wanted to create something that was kind of real and wasn't glossy and wasn't too commercial or anything like that. So
you mentioned it there being real commercial. I mean, the premise is obviously massive. It's World War III. If it had been sort of Hollywoodized,
well, there's that,
as it were, would you have said no, do you think? Or would it have been a completely different film?
I think it would have been a completely different film. I mean, if it, it's an interesting subject, and it's obviously one that a lot of people are interested in right now. Always have been, really, but it seems quite popular right now. But I liked that this was quite small scale. I usually like films like that in general anyway. I mean, both are great, but usually they're a lot more intimate when they're filmed in this way, and I do think this was. I think it really focused on not only Daisy and Eddie, who are the lovers in the film, but the whole family, and I think sometimes in a bigger film you don't really get a chance to capture all of that intimacy. So.
And it is your job as an actress initially with Daisy. She's quite unlikable, isn't she, in the first
She is.
15, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
But it was your job just to try and have enough of a glimpse of a nice person there so the audience stay with her through that opening period.
Yeah. Well, I think that was a balance that we really needed, because I was worried, I remember at the start, that, obviously she can't be too unlikable so that nobody really cares about what happens to her, So there needed to be a balance there, and also that more positive side of her does need to kind of come out the more time you spend with her. So you really do care about her and Eddie coming back together, and him kind of healing her completely, and it ends up being the other way around. So yeah, so it was interesting, I think, to have that arc for her.
You mentioned at the start it's a young adult cast or a teen cast, and you turn out some very mature performances about some really tough subject matter. But what was it like when the cameras were off? Was there a bit of crowd control needed by the director?
Yeah, because we were all messing about the whole time, the 5 of us, and we all became very close. I mean, apart from the scenes that we had with Anna and a couple of other grown-ups, it was just kids basically the whole time, so we messed about and had a great time. And for all the fun positive stuff, they just kind of let the cameras roll, and then other times poor Kevin would have to come in and pull the reins a little bit, or tighten the reins.
Your character Daisy goes through a change from stroppy teenager to responsible adult. Do you see any similarities? Is this a transitional movie for you, that from that young adult film to the big wide world of playing more adult roles, do you think?
Slightly, maybe. I mean, I don't think that this is, Saoirse's adult role or anything like that. I think she's still a young girl, I mean, I want to do that now, and I think, I'm nearly 20, so I do need to start doing more of those roles. But I think the fact that it's portrayed in quite an adult way, or eventually is portrayed in that way, is quite a good thing,
And just finally, you're nearly 20. Oh, just 20, did you say, sorry?
Yeah. I mean,
20.
yeah, in a while.
You want to pursue
in a bit.
more adult roles? Could that be Star Wars next year?
Yeah, if they offered it to me. They haven't offered it to me, so.
Have you read for it?
Everyone has. Everyone's read for Star Wars.
And I guess you can't give us a tiny little bit about what you read, the part, anything like that?
No. They'd shoot me. They'd chop my head off with a lightsaber if I told you that.
Lovely.
So.
Thank you. Good luck with it anyway. Thanks.
Thanks.
Cheers.